Tippy tie my damies, Topcat here, and welcome back to the channel. Today we have an interesting one for you. We are taking a look at the Scorch element that is inside of Solar 3.0. We will be using this to make a very potent build for our Solar Warlock. But before we get into it too deeply, we need to understand Scorch first, what it is and what its effects actually do. So first of all, we need to discern the difference between Scorch and Solar Affinity. Scorch may look like it's solar, of course, but it's not. Solar Affinity is, your shields and your burns on your guns. But things like Sky Burners, Prom Lens, Jotun, these have Scorch abilities to them. And this is almost like a Firefly effect. Scorch is a damage over time effect, and it's kind of like if you think about the Osteostriga or the Thorn, how it has that poison tick damage. Scorch is the same, it has a solar tick damage. There also appears to be like a light, medium and high tick damage. So Scorch has a basis that goes up to 100 before you get an ignition. So if you're getting around that 30 Scorches, that's a light burn, is going to do less damage and die off faster. Medium is around that 60 kind of thing, and then it goes up to high, which is around that 90, that doesn't quite get the ignition, but it'll leave a nice longer lasting burn on it. Pretty much all your grenades are going to give you a Scorch value. Some of them apply it more directly and some of them more damage over time. Melees are much the same as well. Grenades are pretty much going to give you around the 40-ish mark, and melees are going to give you around the 60-ish mark. It doesn't matter which one you use, they're pretty much both the same in terms of Scorch values. So if we apply the right combination of grenade and melee together, we can get something to explode. Ember of Ashes is going to give us more Scorch stacks, and that's going to allow our grenade and melee combination get that ignition of 100. Ember Char is going to give our solar ignitions more to spread to other affected targets. That way when we hit one target, it hits the next target, the Scorch slowly builds up, they ignite, that spreads it to the next target, kind of like the Striga and the Thorn do, just affecting everyone around them, and you're just watching everyone burn, triggers the next one, so forth, so on. It's truly delicious and really, really strong. So now that we have a loose understanding of how our Scorch abilities work with both our class abilities and a few exotics, we're going to be taking a look at this perk, Incandescent. Defeating targets spread Scorch. You can also have this in an enhanced perk, which makes the burn bigger and last longer. I would highly recommend that you either get the Drang, the Mini Miter, or the fixed odds. Get enhanced Incandescent. It is truly strong, particularly when we pair it with the Dawn Chorus. Its armor perk, Rites of Ember. Your Daybreak projectiles cause targets to scorch on contact. We're not really worrying about that. We're running a well. And the main part here is your Scorch effects deal more damage. This is a 3 times damage buff in terms of your Scorch. Very strong. Additionally, you also gain a small amount of melee energy each time you Scorch things. So that's going to be another thing that's going to be feeding melee energy back to us, because we're just scorching everything with the combination of Incandescent, our abilities, and this helmet. Everything has got such a strong Scorch effect that from a base Scorch, we now pretty much have 6 times the Scorch damage applied to us by our enhanced Incandescent, the helmet, and a Fontamite. That is truly devastating to anything, and it actually works better in a higher end content. As you'll note from the footage here, that when things are getting affected by a Scorch, they're pretty much just burning out all the low rent adds, but when you get Scorch stacks onto something higher, that's when it starts getting those ignitions, and that's when they start actually popping and doing a lot more damage. So I've run this in Lost Sectors at 20 under light. I've run this in the Legion campaign, which you're 15 light under, and things just get more of that explosion damage, and explosions help spread that Scorch and thus affect a lot more targets here. See these yellow bar guys, they just love blowing up, and it's so good. We will be using the Ember of Torches Solar Fragment. Powered melee attacks make us radiant. And Ember of Imperium, this is going to make all our abilities, weapon blows, just keep that radiance going. We will also be using Touch of Flame Solar Aspect. This essentially is going to enhance our grenade. We're using the healing grenade, so that way we'll have ×2 restoration and our radiance up, and all we need to do is get ability kills, or in this case we've got a solar drang here that's going to get the loop going. So melee, absorb, walk into a healing grenade, and then just keep killing, and you'll always have that radiance and restoration available to you to loop. I'm using the Celestial Fire. I like this better when I'm in the air, and I want to be chucking this using impact induction. Melee damage is going to give us grenade cooldown. That way I've got another healing grenade at my disposal. I won't be using this to heal myself, rather than absorb it to get heat rises. Heat rises kills gives us more melee ability energy, but additionally we can use it to scorch something with our melee and then Phoenix dive on something, which this now applies scorch attacks when we have heat rises. This is a great scorch attack that creates ignitions, not just on the Phoenix dives, but when planting wells as well. This is stupid fun, and it's so nice that we finally got some like dive attack like the hunters do. They watch them burn and blow up. Not only that, this also works inside a crucible. So very, very fun. Very glad that I figured this out yesterday. Such good. So you got to have your heat rises, scorch them with a bit of melee, then have the Phoenix dive or pop your flag down and watch them go kaboom. So you're going to want to have your abilities at the ready. This is why I've used the enhanced Wellspring on my Drang, as not only will the weapon kills give me additional energy, so will the Scorch as well. So you got your aspects and your gun working for you, giving you that energy. That way you can continually Phoenix dive on people and blow them up. So much fun. So glad Bungie added this. It's not overpowered, it's just strong enough to be fun and get those ignitions going. Kablow. Burn. This build's obviously built around scorching things, so we want to try and beef up our Drang. We're going to use elemental armaments, as this is our main source of killing. So when we get solar final blows, it's going to give us some solar wells. I'm using a rocket scab, but you can use whatever you want depending on your heavy of choice. We're going to use those wells with bountiful wells, that way we get 2 for the price of 1. And I would recommend sidearm load it if you can afford it, as the Drang doesn't have the best of reloads. We'll be using seeking wells, that way all those solar wells come to us. I'm using the seasonal mod Unquenchable Thirst. This is going to make the effect of 2xs even better. 2xs is going to give us better strength and discipline bonuses whilst we have our super active. For this we're running hands-on to help get us our super energy. All our things help give us melee energy. This will help it give us a radiance faster. This is already a really quick cooldown. On our chest armor we're running Font of Might from use of those solar wells, and this is just going to make our Incandescent Scorch effects even stronger again. Arc, Solar and Void damage resistance. We're using Well Up Ordnance. We got 1 slot here, may as well utilize that to get us more healing grenades, to give us our heat rises more often. We're using the Solar Fulmination mod. Your ignitions do increase damage and increase blast radius, but we are also using the Blaze of Precision, whilst Radiant, Solar Precision final blows are going to make things ignite. We don't need to use Classy Restoration for this Warlock build. We have our healing grenades that, and the Empyrean that is going to give us a constant heals as long as we're killing things, and our Wellspring on our sidearm just constantly gives us ability energy, so we're fine. We don't need to worry about Classy Restoration. This Warlock build will give you all the health you need. So Razor Precision is great. Gives you added things that blow up. More things blow up, more things burn, more things burn, more things blow up, and it just keeps that loop going endlessly. Love this to pieces. I highly recommend you give this build a go, guys. The Phoenix dive is a lot of fun. The Incandescent, the burn, everything, the helmet is just a great trinity of mayhem, which I very, very much love, and so glad I got to put this build together, as for a long time the Dawn Cross wasn't working for me. It was a little too explosive, so much so the solar fulmination was killing me, which isn't great in any situation. So I finally found a way to make it work. I'm very happy with this build now. Please give it a go. Like if you liked, sub if you're new and you liked, Comment down below if you got anything to say. And until next time, tippy tie my Jamies, what a tie.
But above everything, he's the most tip-top.